9 days ago, the Athletics went on the road to find out what type of team they would become in 2011. We all knew they had great pitching, but other questions had to be answered, and they have been, with improved defense and the bats waking up with clutch late-inning magic. Tonight, the A's return to the Coliseum and open up a 4-game set with the Detroit Tigers. They will send one of their best young arms in Gio Gonzalez to the hill. He will try to tame the Tigers, who have had some walk-off magic as of late. It's home sweet home, A's Tigers, next. Well, the A's are back home at the Coliseum. Get set for this 6-game homestand. No, that is not Oscar Gamble. That is Coco Crisp. And we like the A's, the gold tops. Gio Gonzalez on the mound tonight, and the A's, the start of a big 4-game series here at the Coliseum. It's the Tigers and the Athletics, and you're going to see it right here on Comcast Sportsnet Plus. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, for the A's, great advantage. They throw a quality starter out there every night, and tonight it's Gio Gonzalez. Ray, he's been really good in his first 2 starts.
Well, he started in his first start. That was a Sunday afternoon here at the Coliseum when the A's needed a win to end a losing streak. They needed to salvage a victory, and Gio got that in the Sunday afternoon game, picked up a victory against the Mariners, then one more on the road. But Gio, we know, winning 15 games last year, the outstanding curveball. He has a fastball, a plus fastball, and he's added a changeup, which also is very good. But Gio Gonzalez, there is no doubt that he is capable of winning 20 games. He is off to a great start. This is a game in Minnesota. It was an unearned run that the A's got to win the game. But Gio, with the great curveball to the lefties, he'll also throw it to the back foot of the right-handed hitters. This kid is a tremendous pitcher, and I mean a kid. He's still very young. He's got a chance to have a tremendous career.
Well, the Tigers are looking for big things this year. Off to a little bit of a slow start. They're 5-7, Ray, but they hope they built a little momentum with a couple of walk-off wins against the Rangers.
Well, this big guy, Miguel Cabrera, he is probably the best hitter in the American League. This was a single with the bases loaded, a walk-off, and then the next game yesterday, it was Brandon Inge hitting a home run. So you might think a little reversal here because Inge is more of a line drive hitter, base hits, but it was not. He got the home run. Cabrera got the base hit. Bottom line, it helped the Athletics because those 2 wins came against the Texas Rangers, leading the American League Western Division. But the Tigers, you can never count them out, especially with their outstanding manager, Jim Leyland. He's one of the best in the game.
Well, the A's think maybe they have some momentum as well. Terrific win yesterday in Chicago. A's score 3 in the 9th to tie it, 3 in the 10th to win it, and they'll hope to build on that tonight. First of 4, it's the A's and the Tigers coming up.
California is brought to you by AT&T and by Toyota. Check out the great deals at your local Toyota dealer today.
A's have taken the field in the beautiful gold tops, the alternate jerseys. Game 1 of 4 between the Tigers and the Athletics. Tigers 5-7, A's 6-6. And indeed, the A's are glad to be back home after the long road trip, but a successful trip. And now the A's will try to do some damage here at home. Game time weather for tonight. It's brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission is free. The boardwalk is open for spring break April 16th until May 1st. 58 degrees, so as we've come to expect, kind of a cool night here at the Coliseum. Jacket weather indeed. So the Tigers in town. One of 2 trips they'll make to the Coliseum this year. That is Austin Jackson, who will be the leadoff hitter, and here's the rest of the Tigers lineup. Jackson, Wells, Rayburn. The big guy in the middle, Miguel Cabrera. Victor Martinez, big free agent signing. Johnny Peralta, Brennan Bosch, Brandon Inge, Ramon Santiago. So that is your Detroit Tigers starting lineup.
Gio Gonzalez, as we detailed, won his first 2 games with a very impressive earned run average of 0.69. Did not face the Tigers last year. And he's not defeated the Tigers in his career, 0-3. So good night for Gio to get the A's on the right foot with a win and pick up a win for himself.
Defensively, the A's have Willingham in left, Crisp in center, Jackson in right. LaRoche at third, Pennington at short, Ellis at second, Barton at first, Kurt Suzuki catching, Gio Gonzalez. So Austin Jackson, the young right-handed hitter, steps in. Gonzalez is ready, and the homestand is underway. First pitch to Austin Jackson, in for a strike.
First pitch, 7:07.
Well, we know that there are a lot of people watching this game on Comcast because there are not a lot of people here to cheer on Gio Gonzalez. So that's let's look at that as a positive.
Maybe they're at the Sharks game. I don't know.
Well, I wonder if the A's fans remember the A's are back home. It's nice to be back home, but
series usually start on Fridays.
That's a good point. They probably think it's an off day. That's right. So we know we have a great viewing audience, don't we?
Yes, we do. 1-2. Austin Jackson hitting 200, a homer and 2 RBIs. Defense, outfield, swing around to right center. Slowly hit toward Pennington. Jackson's very fast. Pennington gets rid of it in a hurry, and that's out number 1.
What a great job by Gio Gonzalez coming back with another curveball. Good idea of Jackson to lay off the first curveball. That was a pretty good pitch. And then Gio came back with another one, forced him to swing and hit the ball on the ground to the sure hands of Cliff Pennington. Jackson has speed. He will strike out a few times, but if he gets the ball in play, he has a chance to make some exciting things happen.
So here is Casper Wells playing right field. Wells bunts it, and it's a pretty good one. LaRoche is going to just pick it up, and Casper Wells has a bunt hit. And it was about as good of a bunt as you're going to make. So Wells is aboard.
Considering the height of the pitch, the fastball was up high, but he did a good job of great angle of the bat. And LaRoche getting the start at third base tonight. He started to charge in, but it was a perfectly placed bunt, deadened, and no chance for Andy LaRoche to make any kind of a play.
So Ryan Rayburn will hit. Rayburn, the left fielder. Maglio Ordonez, of course, a mainstay in the Tigers lineup. He's injured. He's not on the disabled list, but his ankle, which he had surgery on last year, has acted up a little bit, so he has not played in 3-4 days. But again, not on the disabled list. So that is why Casper Wells, the runner at first, is in the lineup, playing right field.
And against Jim Leland, the manager, 6th season managing the Tigers, of using some different guys until Ordonez does come back.
The right field into the corner. Jackson actually near the wall, and he makes the catch in fair territory. So that is out number 2. Long fly ball by Rayburn.
Rayburn seems to always have excellent games against the A's. He'll find a way, and this ball just kept carrying, especially the fastball by Gio Gonzalez. Good swing by Rayburn, and that's a hitter utilizing the power of the pitch. And Gio with a good fastball outside 2-0. A little difficult to pull it, but he almost took it deep to right field.
So here is Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera sitting in the cleanup spot for the Tigers. Terrific hitter. 349, 4 home runs, so a good start. We were talking about Cabrera the last couple days in Chicago. I think, Ray, he's the most dangerous hitter in the American League. And that includes Josh Hamilton.
Absolutely.
That's nothing against Hamilton.
Well, and Jim Leyland, his manager, said not only is he a great hitter, he's a smart hitter, very intelligent. And you look at the number of years that he's driven in at least 100, and Jim Leyland knows that basically he's going to do whatever's necessary to drive in runs. Sure, he can hit the home runs, but driving in runs is a key for any player.
Now, Hamilton won the MVP, of course. It's just very difficult to pitch to this guy. We've seen him hit many home runs to deep right center field.
Well, the best thing they could do right now is not throw him a grooved fastball 3-0, because he might be swinging. He looked to third base, Jane Lamont, but that doesn't mean anything.
That one is outside, so a 4-pitch walk to Miguel Cabrera. So that'll bring up Victor Martinez, and he is part of our true story. It's brought to you by McDonald's. Victor Martinez, his first at bat in front of the home fans in Detroit, a 3-run double. Not a bad way to endear yourself to his new hometown. So Victor Martinez signing the big 4-year, $50 million contract to leave Boston and come to Detroit.
Well, the Red Sox try to keep him badly. And I think from their standpoint, even though Saltalamacchia is doing most of the catching, Jason Varitek, the veteran, the captain, and doing his job. But I think if they had Victor Martinez, he'd be catching a lot.
Yeah. I think the Red Sox, a lot of talk about, obviously, Carl Crawford, Adrian Gonzalez, 2 terrific hitters that they acquired in the offseason. But you also have to remember who they lost. Adrian Beltre and this guy, Victor Martinez. Martinez bounces it to the right side. Elvis takes care of it. So the Tigers strand a pair in the top of the first. We head to the bottom of the first. No score. first, and we're going to check out the A's starting lineup. It is brought to you by Fremont. Chris, Barton, Jackson, Willingham, Matsui, Ellis, Suzuki, LaRoche, and Pennington.
Phil Koch on the mound for the Tigers, and Koch from Sonora, California, lives in Sonora. Came over from the Yankees in the trade that sent Curtis Granderson to the Yankees last year. But Koch mostly out of the bullpen, getting a chance to start.
The defense behind the lefty Koch: Rayburn, Jackson, Wells, left, center, and right. Inge, Peralta, Santiago, Cabrera, third to first, and Martinez is the catcher. So the lefty Koch set to go, and the new look for Koch.
Isn't that beautiful? That's not a wig either, folks. That's real hair.
Strike on the inside. No, that is the real deal.
See what it looks like tomorrow. But Brandon Inge looking into. Wait a minute. Is this the same Coco Crisp we've known in the past? Those of you who think of baseball back in the 70s with Oscar Gamble, Cleveland and New York.
That was it, huh?
That was it. That was the Oscar Gamble look. Except with Oscar, at that time, did not have to wear the ear flap. Hey, perfect. Dallaire, you're good. You're great. Josh, thank you, Josh. But that's what Oscar Gamble looked like. And take the ear flap away from Coco Crisp, and it might look the same.
Koch strikes out Coco Crisp.
He's got a good breaking pitch. There's a slider down and in, and throw a change up and a fastball. But 7 strikeouts in his last start, 7 coming on breaking pitches. And that's the hard slider that right-handed hitters should look for tonight. But they'll also think about when they have their lefties on the mound, especially Anderson and Gio. Same type of pitch they throw to the right-handers.
So here is Barton. Well, Phil Koch, a workhorse the last 2 years out of the bullpen. In 09 with the Yankees, 72 appearances. Last year with the Tigers, 74 appearances. You start getting into over 70 games, that's a lot. The Tigers think he has the stuff to be a starter. So he is in the rotation this year. 28 years old, Phil Koch. Good breaking ball, snaps in for strike 1 and 2. Barton hitting .293 with no home runs and 3 runs batted in. Good road trip, 9 for 30. In the 9 games the A's played on that trip. 4 of those hits came Tuesday night in Chicago.
The big one yesterday afternoon, a 2-run single and a 3-run 10th. Which is very big for the A's and helping them win in the 10th inning.
Made for a happy plane flight home.
Yeah, a longer flight for some reason.
So the A's 6-6 after winning 5 of 9 on that trip. Remember, the A's started 1-4 this year, but have gone 5-2 since then to get to the 500 mark. Early yet, but it's always nice to get there and hopefully stay there and head north of it as much as you can. Just a bit high.
Two guys that did start yesterday. Coco getting the afternoon off, same for Barton, but Coco came through with a base hit to center field. That give the A's the lead, and then Derek Barton right behind him to right center for a 2-run single. So Bob Garrett and the A's have talked about the depth of the A's. So yesterday they were able to start a couple of guys, rest a couple of guys, and those guys came in to help at the end. A very big team effort yesterday and getting the A's the win and a 5-4 road trip.
First pitch to Connor Jackson into right field, and that's a base hit. So first pitch swinging Jackson goes the other way. First and second. 1 out here in the bottom of the first for Willingham.
A good fastball hitter is Jackson, and very good, taking advantage of the hole on the right side. Look at that inside out, stayed inside the ball. The great swing to the opposite field, and there's the hole, the big old hole on the right side with the runner being held. And the second baseman, Santiago, playing close to second for a double play. A double play that didn't occur.
So Willingham with 3 home runs and 7 runs batted in, hitting .244 in the early going. There's a fastball for a strike on the outside corner. Matsui in the on-deck circle. High pop-up. Cabrera with all the foul territory has a play, but tagging and going to third is going to be Barton as Cabrera made the play in foul territory. So out number 2, and Matsui will have a chance to drive in a run.
Derek Barton knows his foul territory and saw Cabrera kind of backpedaling. And when you're a base runner, the ball's in foul territory, the only thing you can do or should do is tag. And whether you advance or not, Derek Barton saw him catch the ball, and probably when he backpedaled a couple of steps, that's when he took off and made it easily. Where, say, with 2 outs, no big deal, but it is a big deal if there's a mistake. Wild pitch, pass ball, anything can happen to score the run because of aggressiveness by Barton.
Hideki Matsui starting to swing the bat much better. Average up to .262, a couple of home runs, and 7 runs batted in. In that series in Chicago, he was 5 for 13 with a double and a home run.
Now maybe with Phil Koch taking a look at a first pitch fastball, the release point, the delivery from the lefty. Normally we have seen Hideki. We might see it in at bats to follow, where he'll be aggressive in the first ball.
Breaking ball outside to Matsui.
Now watch Derek Barton come down the line at third base, and with a left-handed pitcher, I think back to Billy Martin's days of managing Billy Ball, they called it, back in the early 80s. And this is when he'd have a left-handed pitcher, the runner at third come down the line, runner at first draw a throw, and as soon as the throw went to first, the runner from third scored. And Derek Barton's getting down the line like he's thinking about doing the same thing.
Matsui bounces it to the right side. Santiago has it, and the A's do not score. So both the Tigers and the A's strand a couple in their halves of the first inning. No score after 1.
No doubt the A's need to feed off their very nice road trip of 5-4 and Joe Gonzalez stay on the roll he's been on and tame the Tigers lineup. They are very good, especially the middle part of the lineup. That man especially, Miguel Cabrera. He is a player that's been around, seems like forever, but he's still a very young player.
Johnny Peralta leading it off. Peralta, Bosch, Inge for the Tigers in the second inning. Still strange to see Johnny Peralta in a uniform that's not the Cleveland Indians. Seemed like he was there for such a long time, and he was. But traded to the Tigers last year.
A couple of former Indians, Victor Martinez and now Peralta together with the Tigers.
July 28th is when that trade was made. Peralta was a free agent and he re-signed with the Tigers. 2-year contract for a little over $11 million to stay with Detroit after the trade. Swing and a miss. Got it. 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
The A's have teamed up with Wells Fargo to support our local schools. Bring your new school supply donation worth $5 or more to tomorrow's game against the Tigers. You'll get a 2-for-1 field-level ticket voucher. Wells Fargo and the Oakland A's school supply drive at every Friday home game this season through mid-September, teaming up to make a difference.
One out for Brennan Bosch. Bosch is the designated hitter. Made a big splash last year as a rookie.
Especially first half.
Yeah, struggled in the second half. Hit 14 home runs and knocked in 67 last year. That's a shot and it's fouled on the right field line. Bosch went to Cal. So he has been in this part of the world before. Born in Southern California. So I'm sure he was glad to see the Cal baseball program reinstated.
Also glad to see Laz Diaz didn't come up with the arm that he started to come up with for strike 3. Like a pretty good pitch, 0-2.
No, he's a free swinger. He likes to let it rip. There's Laz Diaz behind home plate. Scott Berry at first. John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, is at second. Wally Bell down at third.
It's the breaking ball that was clearly a ball, but he at least made contact.
And a fastball this time, popped it up. Cliff Pennington near the line. Now drifts a step into foul territory, and he makes the catch for out number 2.
Well, both clubs arrived from the respective cities in the Bay Area about the same time last night.
Number 15.
Tigers started a little bit later in their game, coming in from Detroit after winning 2 of 3 against the Rangers, and the A's played a 3+3.5-hour game almost, and a little bit extra ride to the airport, but they did not mind one bit after winning and coming back the way they did yesterday.
It's a 7-game trip for the Tigers, 4 here, and then on Sunday after the game they will head to Seattle for a 3-game series, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And the Tigers opened on the road and then went home for 6 games, and now they'll be on the road for 7. Brandon Inge, 256 with a homer and 3 RBIs. Of course, the home run was the game winner yesterday, and he takes the walk. This is what he did.
Darren Oliver, the hitter, the pitcher, and Brandon Inge hit it, and he knew it was gone. Head down. Celebration begins as Brandon Inge, back-to-back walk-offs by the Tigers.
The Rangers have an off day today, and their off day was in New York. They'll take on the Yankees tomorrow at Yankee Stadium. Angels an off day as well. Angels will be in Chicago over the weekend. I think the Angels and the Rangers will play next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Texas. So that'll be a series we'll keep an eye on.
The Yankees playing tonight, just defeated the Orioles.
Comeback.
Yeah, Nick Swisher with a sac fly to win it after Jorge Posada tied it.
He did in the 9th. He won it in the 10th. One and two to Ramon Santiago. Santiago, a switch hitter. Inge leads at first, and the pitch is up and away.
To Brandon Inge, fastball's outside, ended up walking him, and after the first pitch, fastball was outside to Santiago. And Kurt Suzuki called a fastball inside of the curveball, forcing Gio to finish with his pitches.
Bouncer toward third. LaRoche waits for the hop, throws in time, side retired. Runner stranded, and we are headed to the bottom of the 2nd inning. No score. California.com brings the game to life. Live on your laptop with in-game live. Follow the game online with enhanced pitch trackers, play-by-play action, and more. CSNCalifornia.com, your interactive home for A's baseball all season long. Mark Ellis to lead it off against Phil Koch. A's had a chance against Koch in the first, could not get a run across. So Ellis, Suzuki, and LaRoche. 233 for Mark, no home runs and 5 RBIs. High to center field. Playable for Austin Jackson. He's very good out there. Jackson has it. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
97. The catcher, number 8, Kurt Suzuki.
So Kurt Suzuki will hit. Suzuki down the right field line, and that is slicing foul. Well, Mark Ellis just hit a fly ball to center field, but he's got a base hitter ready to do. He's got a triple today. Yeah. Before the game started, he already had a hit today. We'll explain why. You think we're crazy? We're not. He's a happy guy.
I wonder if the averages today reflect.
Remember the play Saturday in Minnesota when he hit the long drive to left center field. Denard Span went way back and then reached out. It popped out of his glove, and we immediately wrote it down as a triple, and the official score said E8, which we thought was a poor call at the time, and a lot of people were like, geez, he ran about 50, 60 feet to get to the ball and dropped it. Well, anyways, the story I read, and Bob Rose just made the announcement that Major League Baseball has changed it to a triple. Line drive for Suzuki. He's got a base hit. So it took a little while, but I think the right call was finally made, and Kurt Suzuki is awarded Mark Ellis is awarded a triple.
So that changes a lot of things. The team average, his average, extra base hits, but Kurt Suzuki will take this one. Stayed back on a fastball from Koch on a 2-1. And a great inside-out swing to right center field. So it looked like Zook might have been thinking about the slider that Koch likes to throw in all counts, and especially when he's behind the count to right-handers, throwing the slider down in.
A little bit low to Andy LaRoche. So I don't really know how the paperwork goes as far as how it gets to the league office or how they make that decision. Right to the shortstop, could be two, and it is 6-4-3 double play, tailor-made. On to the third at the Coliseum, no score.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
And Ray, you can log on to csncalifornia.com to post your question. Jesse from Oakland asks, who's your favorite person in the athletics organization to talk with?
Cliff Cleveland.
Ray Fosse is my favorite.
Well,
I don't have to talk to him. I want to talk to him. How about that?
You know, it's a very simple answer. The entire A's organization, there's not one person you would not want to talk to.
Sure.
Everybody is. It's a great organization, great people. So it would be hard to try to name one person when you can think about everybody.
Willingham coming in. He'll get there. Jackson's retired.
Says a lot about the organization from top to bottom.
Yep.
The people in the organization, front office, the players, minor league, the coaches, the managers.
Number 57.
And I think there's a lot to be said about when Eric Kubota and his crew go out and start scouting players for the upcoming June draft, and whether Billy Owens is looking for somebody to trade, Billy Beane's making the trade. They also look at the quality of the person in addition to the way they can play. And some would say it doesn't matter what type of person they are, but there must be something to say about it, because people who come to this organization are usually good people. Surprised when they're not, and that's few and far between.
Quick 0-2 to Casper Wells.
So, DeLay, I hope that answered your question. I'm sorry, for Jesse, that's right.
Casper Wells had a bunt single in the first inning. On deck is Ryan Rayburn. Good fastball, and that is strikeout number 2 for Gio Gonzalez.
Pretty consistent in the 93, 94 mile per hour range with a fastball, and for Gio, it's just a rear back and throw. Let it go, and Kurt Suzuki set up inside, and when that happens, just watch how he finishes. And when he finishes like that, he adds a couple of miles to this fastball, and that swing is a little bit tardy, just a little bit.
Here's Rayburn with 2 outs. Gio taking a little off, easing it in there. Rayburn hit a fly ball into the right field corner that Connor Jackson made the play on. Rayburn got to play a lot in the second half of last year and did a real nice job. Jim Leland said, you know what, let's run him out there, let him play. Pennington charges on the run, and that's a good inning for Gio Gonzalez. Three down, bottom of the third coming up. Pennington's going to lead it off, no score. Bottom of the third inning. So Cliff Pennington will lead it off, and then it'll be Coco Crisp and Derek Barton against Phil Koch. Koch a walk and a strikeout, and he's given up a couple of hits. Fastball on the inside corner to Pennington. Pennington, the hero yesterday, one of the heroes yesterday, with his 2-out, 2-run single in the top of the ninth that tied the game.
I find it amazing if you just sit here and think about it, that a little over 24 hours ago we were sitting in Chicago doing a game.
Yeah.
Here we are, West Coast, doing a game in Oak. But yesterday, this is what we were watching in Chicago. Sunny afternoon, shadows creeping, and Matt Thornton gave up a base hit. Coco Crisp scored, and that would tie it. 2 outs in the ninth inning.
Line drive into the glove of Brandon Inge for out number 1. Well, we got in-depth sports news for the Bay Area fan. Go deep with Sportsnet Central. It's brought to you by Hyundai. It's tonight at 10:30, and it's on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Full coverage from this game, and of course, full coverage from the Sharks and the LA Kings. Game 1 of their NHL playoff matchup. And also, KJ, Kevin Johnson, fighting to keep the Kings in Sacramento. Damon Andrews, Dave Benz will host. Coco Crisp bounces one over the mound. Santiago quickly to first. So Crisp is 0 for 2. And that'll bring up Derek Barton.
Well, we were talking about the aerodynamic look.
Yeah, what'd you find out?
I don't think it was for Coco. It's kind of slowed down a little bit, don't you think?
You know, we've been home for how long? Less than 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
I've had 3 people ask me, so why do they shave their arms?
So why do they?
Well, I haven't asked yet. I'm looking for the right time.
Who are you going to ask?
I don't know yet.
That's your job.
I'm going to take care of it.
BI? Maybe it's BI's job to find out.
We talked about that. It was one of our fan questions. Barton walked in the first inning. I mean, nothing like going into the store in the morning and having somebody say, hey, nice road trip. Now, why do those guys shave their arms?
Well, they expected you to have already asked, since that question was, what, a week old?
It
was old.
It'll be better. It was old when we asked it. 3-0 to Barton. And that's way high, and Barton, second walk.
Now this is Derek Barton on the 30th last year of May. Boy, that's a look of, I know it's gone. And it was.
So the 2-out walk to Barton, and here's Connor Jackson. Jackson had a base hit to right field in the first inning. He takes a strike. Certainly early yet, Ray. This is just the 13th game of the year for the A's. But Connor Jackson looks like a different player this year, doesn't he?
Well, he's healthy, and that's the biggest thing for him. He said it coming into spring training. It took him pretty much all of last year to get to the point where he was healthy, and then some surgery in the offseason. And he is feeling great.
Lifts this one to left, where Rayburn settles underneath it. Side retired. We're headed to the 4th inning. Still no score. Gio Gonzalez, Phil Koch. Pitchers duel so far. No score, top of the 4th inning. Ray Fosse, Clint Kuiper. You're watching the A's on Comcast Sportsnet Plus tonight.
He has thrown 5 pitches to Cabrera, all 5 fastballs outside.
Snaps a breaking ball in on the inside corner that time, first strike.
I think it's pretty obvious that when you face the Tigers, you're a pitcher and you go through the lineup and you say there's one guy, and usually every lineup has a guy that you don't want to beat you. Tigers has to be Cabrera for every pitcher. And ideally you want him leading off an inning, which is what he's doing, but doesn't necessarily mean that you challenge him, because he can make it a 1-0 game very quickly. Power to all fields.
Well, last year he came close to a triple crown. He led the league in RBIs with 126, second in batting average, 328, third in home runs, 38. Well, there you go. Swing and a miss. Gio Gonzalez not impressed as he strikes out Miguel Cabrera. So Gio Gonzalez off to another good start. We asked Gio the influence that Dallas Braden has had on him.
It's a motivational speech where, you know, it's almost like hyping a fighter up for a big fight, where you get in his ear and you go, this is your moment, this is right here, this is what you work for. And he had those moments every start, you know, where it had to be done. If he was up in the bathroom, I'd send someone to go get him until he had to, you know, take care of this problem, where you almost needed that words of encouragement to take it a step further. You know, when you have someone like Dallas constantly giving you the motivation and guiding you as almost like a big brother, you know, it was actually an honor to have someone who just threw a perfect game constantly take care of you like that.
Well, it's a good relationship.
Yep.
And an important one for Gio Gonzalez, no doubt about it. 1-1 to Victor Martinez. Suzuki sets up inside, and the fastball is inside, off the plate. 2-1. Martinez grounded out with a couple of runners on to end the first inning. Look at the improvement. It all came together last year. That's pretty obvious. See that ERA? 8th best in the American League. Pennington waits for the good hop. And that is out number 2. With Braden and Gio, they do this before every game that Gio pitches.
Now batting, number 27, Johnny Peralta.
Oh, good stuff.
But you know what? If you try to do that to Braden, he wouldn't let it.
Get away from me.
Dallas does not want anybody near him when he's pitching. But that is the difference, and everybody is different, and every pitcher prepares differently. But it's worked for Gio, and well, we could be seeing something special from that young man this year, there's no doubt. The way he is pitching, and did not miss a start last year, showing his great durability.
Went over 200 innings, did Gio Gonzalez.
He likes the alternate jerseys. Can't be wrong.
So far this year for Gonzalez, 16 innings pitched, just 1 earned run allowed. That includes tonight. Changeup is 3-1 now to Johnny Peralta, who struck out swinging in the second inning. Inside, he walked him. So Gio, the 2-out walk, that's his 3rd walk issued in the ball game.
Well, he does have to try to overthrow, especially with the fastball inside.
Now batting,
And it's just a natural when he unloads to the inside part of the plate. The follow through is tremendous, and he gets a lot of life on his fastball.
So Bosch steps in. Get a foul ball down the left field line. Pennington make a play on. That was in the second. Bosch holds up. Just 3 hits in his last 19 at bats for Brennan Bosch.
I think a lot of players come to the big leagues. In the case of Bosch last year, had a tremendous first half, and not saying that he had done this, but sometimes you start thinking the game's pretty easy, but you realize the adjustments that are made. You have to make adjustments as a hitter because the pitchers definitely will adjust. They know exactly what you hit, how you hit them. They know how they try to get you out. It's a constant battle to try to hit some of the best pitchers in baseball.
They brought him up last year on the 23rd of April. He was just killing the ball at AAA Toledo. Stayed in Detroit the rest of the year. "61 pitches for Gio Gonzalez, and we're here in the 4th inning. And foul, this one back to the lower deck. That's Brandon Inge waiting in the on-deck circle. There are 2 outs. Just 1 hit for the Tigers, just a couple of hits for the A's so far in the game. Swing and a miss, a high fastball. Strikeout number 4 for Gio Gonzalez. Bottom of the 4th coming up. It'll be Willingham, Matsui, and Ellis. AT&T, who was the last Athletics starting pitcher to win each of his first 3 starts to begin a season? Gio Gonzalez, if he were to get a win tonight, he would indeed start 3-0. Pitching well, so is Phil Koch. As Koch kicks and fires to Josh Willingham, and that's a strike. Willingham, Matsui, and Ellis, bottom of the 4th. Willingham fouled out to Cabrera in the 1st inning. Good swing there by Josh Willingham.
One thing we see about Willingham, very strong hitter. He uses the whole field, but he waits very well. And sometimes when you wait and it's a good fastball, you might be a little bit late and strike out, swing and miss the pitch. But like his approach, great approach that he has. And when you use the whole field, nothing wrong with that.
One-two pitch to Willingham. Strike 3 called. Fastball. Willingham thought it was a bit high. Laz Diaz.
Maybe inside as well. Keep warm during the early part of the season with the 2011 A's Fleece Blanket presented by Bay Area News Group. This year's Fleece Blanket is the A's Gold to match the new A's Gold alternate home jerseys worn tonight by the Athletic. 10,000 fans tomorrow will receive a Fleece Blanket as the A's take on the Detroit Tigers. 7:05 for tickets. Call 877-493-BALL or go to oaklandathletics.com. You know, tonight, it had the Fleece Blanket tonight. This place would have been packed, and then they would have been here tomorrow night as well.
And bring the blankets along.
That's what I mean. Just pack them.
Chilly night at the Yard. One and 0 to Hideki Matsui.
Well, this is the pitch that Willingham was called out on. And I think more than anything, he might have thought it was inside. Height, a little bit above the belt, but had to be thinking inside. If we'd had Tommy Cam up here, we could tell you exactly the location was.
Not tonight. High fastball Matsui. Again a foul ball. 2-2 the count. This is just the 2nd start for Koch. He's made a couple of relief appearances this year. Some off days early for the Tigers. Bounced again to the right side. Santiago flips it to Cabrera, and Matsui grounds out to 2nd for the 2nd time. He's 0 for 2, and that'll bring up Mark Ellis.
Now batting, second baseman, number 14, Mark Ellis.
So the A's with 2 hits in the game. Jackson a single in the 1st, and Kurt Suzuki a single in the 2nd. A couple of walks by Koch, a couple of strikeouts.
Remember the game Saturday, of course, you referenced with Mark Ellis. 3-base error being changed to a triple, but it's also the game the A's scored the unearned run. So Gio Gonzalez in that game, as well as the A's pitching staff, combined shutout. Gio going 6 innings, but other than the game Sunday against Seattle, not have long run support.
Ed Koch has a 3-up, 3-down inning as Ellis pops out. So the 5th inning is coming up. No score. Who was the last A's starting pitcher to win each of his first 3 starts to begin a season? Going to go back to 1990. Dave Stewart. Stu started 6-0 that year.
Dave Stewart was one of the best at pitching in April starter I've ever seen, or at least in a long time. Tony Russa's goal, as mentioned before, was to get to 90 games as quickly as possible. And Dave Stewart always helped because he always had a great month of April.
Well, it's also nice when you know that your team is going to win 90 games.
That's right.
I mean, I think most teams say, let's get to 85 and then we'll go from there. Let's get to 90 as quick as possible.
And they did. And as a result, 3 straight appearances in the World Series, not bad.
Inge hits it to right field, but right there is Connor Jackson, and Brandon Inge is retired. So 1 out here in the top of the 5th. A lot of outs being made tonight.
Now batting, number 39.
3 an inning.
3 seems like more. Doesn't it feel like there's some extra outs being made?
Well, that's because there are 2 teams, so that's actually 6 outs per inning, top and bottom. And here we are in the 5th. That means 12 plus this 1. James learned something tonight probably never heard before. There are a lot of outs tonight.
Coco Crisp got a great jump, but he's going to play it on a hop. Ramon Santiago has a base hit.
Well, that shot right there is going to be around all night throughout baseball in America.
Now batting, number 14.
Low fastball, and Santiago, not known for a lot of power. Coco thought about it and then shut it down to make sure at least kept him at first base. Tough to double up Jackson, but at least there's a possibility. And
so top of the order, Austin Jackson. Jackson a ground out and a fly out so far in the game. Fastball for a strike. Austin Jackson, just 24 years old. Looks like the young man's going to have a pretty good career.
you know, it'd been great if the Yankees maybe could have been a little bit patient to let him play. But the Yankees, a team that likes to have veterans, and they wanted Curtis Granderson. They gave up 3 players to get Curtis Granderson. Of course, he had been a great center fielder for the Tigers and excellent home run hitter for a center fielder. The Yankees got him, and the Tigers benefited by getting Jackson, Kennedy, and Coke. Yeah, so some good players for him. And that's the way you develop a good team. Got to build a team by acquiring some young players. So Coke pitching tonight. Jackson's the center fielder.
Swing and a miss. Austin Jackson, no chance there.
And he will do that a few times.
Yeah.
Jackson has been known to strike out, but very aggressive. He gets on base. He can do some damage. But Gio Gonzalez, 3 pitches, 2 fastballs, and then the big curveball out of the strike zone. And you start the swing right there. You want to hold up. You can't, and the pitch disappears.
So Austin Jackson 0 for 3, and here's Casper Wells.
So far, it has been only the first inning. Wells singled. As the ball, and then Cabrera walked. And they got Victor Martinez. Other than that, just running first base as far as the Tigers have been. A's have not done much better.
Wells goes around on the breaking ball. Scott Berry says he did indeed.
Struck him out with a fastball last at bat, and this time he was sitting the fastball maybe 92, 93, but instead got the curveball. Great call by Kurt Suzuki. And as usual, A's pitchers going with the catcher. In this case, a first pitch curveball, and they hit a looking fastball.
Just missed inside, but a good pitch by Gio Gonzalez.
I just heard Josh Willingham. Because that looked about the same location inside.
So Casper Wells ahead in the count now, 2-1. Casper Wells was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we're guessing he probably grew up a Tigers fan.
I don't see how he could not, especially if Ernie Harwell was broadcasting.
That's right. Up and away. So it says he was born November 23, 1984. So
that was right after.
Yeah, I was
right after they went wire to wire.
So he was.
He's a World Series baby.
Yeah. Outside, and it's a walk.
See, it's a location, the fastball outside, where Gio has had his problems with his fastball. Romanic's going to pay a visit and remind him that Rayburn's a very aggressive hitter, and you got Cabrera in the on-deck circle. Rayburn's the guy you want to get.
Tigers last year finished 81-81 in third place, 13 games back. So disappointing season. 2009 they lost the one-game playoff to the Twins. That was the year where they let it get away. Remember, they had a 3-game lead with 4 to play.
Yep.
And they could not get to the postseason. So that one still stings a little bit. Two on, 2 out. Ryan Rayburn, the hitter. Good breaking ball, snaps in for a strike.
Might see Gio stay with either the curveball or the fastball inside and try to get him to finish. I know I keep repeating myself, but that's the key for Gio. When he finishes, he's a much different pitcher. Finish with the fastball in. There it is.
So 0-2 the count.
Suzuki right there, and there's the follow through, and Gio. Curveball, fastball. First 2 pitches.
Fastball up and away. Good speed. Santiago and Wells are the runners. In the dirt, and it pops away from Suzuki, and the runners will move up. Sharp breaking ball down and in. So it's a wild pitch.
It's amazing. Kurt Suzuki is able to block most of these, and this one got under his glove and hit his shin guards. And once it hits the hard shin guards, it's going to bounce far enough away. And Gio looking in the dugout about maybe pitching out of the windup versus the stretch. And he's going to go to the windup.
In the dirt, swing and a miss by Rayburn, and the side is retired. So Gio Gonzalez gets the big strikeout, and the Tigers strand a pair.
Now for the Home Depot doing more on defense. Back-to-back pitches to Rayburn. Watch this now. Runners at first and second. Curveball gets away. Hitter thinking 2-2. No way. Another curveball. What does he do? Confidence that Gio has in his catcher to block the ball. And he threw the hard curveball, got the strikeout, and Kurt Suzuki blocked the ball. Inning over. And Gio Gonzalez, again, when you have the confidence in your catcher, especially with a runner at third, another wild pitch, run's going to score, no hesitation whatsoever. And it came right back with another curveball. So that is kind of a different type of defense, but very important in this game.
How about that? Suzuki down the left field line. Rayburn into the corner. Foul territory. He's got it. So Suzuki deep down the line in foul territory. He's retired.
Well, the fastball ran in maybe just enough that he didn't get the sweep part of the bat. Might have hooked a foul into the seats anyway, but still a very aggressive swing by Kurt Suzuki on the fastball in.
So that'll bring up Andy LaRoche. LaRoche hit into a 6-4-3 double play in the second inning. 7th start of the year for Andy LaRoche, and this is the A's 13th game. He's been swinging the bat very well. Laz Diaz may have missed that one.
Yeah, and he's hearing it from the A's too. Yeah, Laz, you're hearing it because it was low. He called it a little bit too quickly because the changeup, a little bit of a dive bomb, and it might have been hearing it from Willingham as well.
And now 1-2 to LaRoche. This is the pitch in question.
Now there's a changeup. You can understand why there was some yelling from the A's bench. And Victor Martinez did a good job of catching the ball without taking it out of the strike zone, but it was already there.
Yeah, even if he would have framed it nice, I still think it would have been a ball. I mean, it was quite a ways down.
Yeah, it's hard to frame a ball that's in the dirt.
Pennington in the on-deck circle. Curveball is lined foul up over the A's bullpen. LaRoche at third base tonight. It's his second start at third. One at second, one at first, three at short. So he's got the infield covered. A couple guys getting the night off. DeJesus and Kuzminoff. Changeup drops low, 2-2.
Jeez, that was similar to the one that's called a strike, wasn't it?
To the shortstop, Peralta takes care of LaRoche, 2 outs. Well, join us on Saturday for Game 2. It'll be on Comcast Sportsnet California. Sharks and the LA Kings. That is, of course, the round 1 matchup. Every Sharks playoff game will be on Comcast Sportsnet versus or NBC Sports with complete post-game coverage after every game on Comcast Sportsnet California. And there is the schedule. Sharks and the Kings tied 1-1 midway through the second period down at the Shark Tank. So that game going on right now. And again, Saturday will be Game 2, 6:30, Sharks pregame live. Liner into the glove of Cabrera. Side retired. 7 in a row retired by Phil Koch. We're on to the 6th, still scoreless. Miguel Cabrera leading off the 6th inning. No score. Cabrera a walk and a strikeout. Swing and a miss. .82 pitches thrown by Gio Gonzalez. Good swing there. Fastball out over the plate. Gonzalez with 6 strikeouts. He's walked 4. Just misses there, but a good spot on 0-2.
Sometimes reputation helps, and when you're a superstar like Miguel Cabrera, something close might go to you more than the pitcher. That was a little bit outside. From the curveball 2-2 last at bat, struck him out. And the one guy that knows exactly what Gio threw him is the guy hit him.
Big bouncer toward Pennington. Pennington guns it across. Cabrera's out. So 1 out. That gets us to our Farmers Insurance Report Card. It has to do with Cabrera. Last 5 Tigers to lead the American League in RBIs. York, Greenberg, Ray Boone, and then Cecil Fielder did it 3 years in a row. 90, 91, 92, and then Cabrera in 2010 led the AL with 126 RBIs.
Big Cecil could hit.
Yes, he can. Wow. So can his son.
Yeah, Prince is not bad. All those great seasons Dave Stewart had. Old Tiger Stadium. Cecil Fielder took one completely out. I mean, he crushed it. Stu threw him a good fastball, and he put everything into it. It's a little bit easier to hit him out to left field, or the second deck, but up over the roof.
Victor Martinez got one to hit, and he fouled it back. You're not going to get a lot of good pitches to hit from Gio Gonzalez.
That's why you do. When you do, you're a little bit upset that you missed it. That ball straight back, so a good swing by V-Mart, as they call him. So back-to-back hitters, Cabrera and Martinez. Of course, they can't wait to get Ordonez back from the middle of the lineup as well.
Curveball, bounce to Pennington. And that's out number 2.
I really like the way Cliff Pennington is playing shortstop. Of course, his arm strength is there, but watching the way he fields balls and knows when to take his time and not. Here, he knows Martinez doesn't run well. Make sure he has a 4-seam grip. Right over the top, perfect throw to Derek Barton. A little bit earlier, had to charge the ball on a ball that was hit by a faster runner. Rayburn, as a matter of fact, he charged it and got the job done, but in this inning, Cabrera and Martinez run that well, so you don't have to hurry. It's just a matter of knowing the hitters, and he's only going to get better. How to position them and when to hurry, when not to hurry.
Johnny Peralta, a strikeout and a walk in the game. Just 4 hits total, 2 for each team.
I think the Tigers might be happy they didn't face Gio last year. That's the way he's pitching tonight. And the success he had last year, winning 15 games. But Phil Koch is matching him.
Gio went with the high fastball, 2-2. Tigers have stranded 6 in the first 5 innings, so they've had some scoring opportunities against Gio, but he's made that big pitch when he needs to, and remember, he's walked 4. So full count to Peralta, Brennan Bosch in the on-deck circle.
Well, they could challenge Peralta or go back to the curveball, but a little different situation here with 2 outs. Versus last inning, we had runners at second and third and threw the 3-2 curveball to Raver, or the 2-2 curve.
Fastball, and Peralta is able to check his swing, hold up, and it's a 2-out walk. So 5 walks now by Gio.
Well, they got the fastball a little bit up, and Peralta, good job of holding up his bat and his swing.
'95 pitches total. And the walks will shoot that pitch total up. Bosch, a foul out and a strikeout, and the fastball is high. Gio losing the strike zone a little bit here. Looks like maybe Ray's overthrown a little bit.
Well, pitchers start to get up in the zone. Indication pushing the ball a little bit. Rodriguez on the phone for Ron Romatic. They're going to get somebody loose, and it's maybe Gio's last inning anyway.
Curveball spins Bosch out of the way. 3-0 with Brandon Inge in the on-deck circle.
A little bit under the pitch.
And that one's inside, and he walked him. 6 walks for Gio Gonzalez. So it is Tyson Ross just now starting to get loose.
Well, there's a dangerous hitter coming up also on Brandon Inge.
Now batting.
He is aggressive,
15,
has the power, as showed with the walk-off
Inge.
yesterday. And not a bad 8th place hitter.
Inge, another guy that the Tigers re-signed as he was a free agent. So meeting on the mound. See how Gio's doing and maybe give Tyson Ross a little time.
And gives us time to tell you to bring the kids out for this Sunday's game against the Tigers. 7,500 kids will receive age wristbands, and it's presented by Chevy. See your Northern California Chevy dealer for a great selection of Chevy cars, trucks, and crossovers. For tickets, call 877-493-BALL or go to oaklandathletics.com. So a challenge created by himself, Gio Gonzalez, after getting Cabrera and Martinez to start the inning, back-to-back walks.
In the dirt to the backstop, got right between the legs of Kurt Suzuki.
Watch this curveball just stay straight down, and Zook came up just enough. Didn't get any help from Lance Diaz Shingard and went right through the wickets of both catcher and umpire.
So second and third now. Second wild pitch by Gio Gonzalez. There's a fastball for a strike.
Gio's got to know this might be his last inning. Maybe his last batter. Don't have to hold anything back.
Inside, and a count 2-1. We saw that. All 6 walks coming with 2 outs. Pop up, and Gio Gonzalez should get out of the inning. Mark Ellis has got it side retired. Tigers strand a pair. They've stranded 8 through 6 innings. Bottom of the 6th coming up. It's going to be the top of the order for the A's. No score. is the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Coors Light Freeze Cam is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Oh, the hamburger cheeseburger hat.
It was good luck yesterday.
Well, maybe those hats are good luck tonight. Maybe so much luck that he's going to score a run for Gio, because Tyson Ross is continuing to get loose in the bullpen, or at least was. Now is going back towards the bench, but Joe Gonzalez 116 the first start, 106 the second, 103 they got now. So it may be Ross coming in.
Oh, and 2 is Coke. A couple of walks, a couple of strikeouts. Change up, and a pretty good one. And Coco Crisp pops out. So 1 out. That'll bring up Barton.
That's a page out of Dallas Braden's book. 3 consecutive changeups, and all 3 fooled Coco Crisp, especially the last that had him out on the front foot and an easy pop-up.
Number 10, Derek Barton.
Couple of walks tonight for Barton. With Barton, the only guy obviously that's been on base more than 1 time.
In addition to the home run he hit against Coke last year, had a couple of doubles against him. Coke pitching out of the bullpen last year. Those 3 appearances he made against the A's, but Barton did well against him.
And it's 3-0.
Then it might be mutual. I own you and I know you own me. the way Coke has pitched to everybody except Barton. Pitched very well. Jackson had the base hit in the first inning. The A's looked like they had something going. First and second, 1 out, and then pop up and a ground out. He's out of the inning.
3-0 pitch inside corner, first strike. Colt kicks, and the 3-1 pitch outside corner, 3-2. Barton, good swing there, hits it high and foul. Connor Jackson would be next, or will be next. Poke to left field. Rayburn toward the line. He's going to get there. He was playing over that way a little bit, so that is out. Number 2. A's baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Cache Creek's Casino Resort. Cache Creek's showers of cash with $500 cash every hour from 2 p.m. till midnight. Visit cachecreek.com for details. So the A's just can't get anything going against Coke. 9 in a row he's retired.
Difference for him, he's walked Barton a couple of times. Those are the only 2 walks, and as a result, pitch count just at 71.
And just a couple of strikeouts. But he's pumping quality strikes in there. Line drive, center field. Jackson's going to play it on a hop. Connor Jackson is 2 for 3. Kind of off the end of the bat a little bit.
No, that was enough that it was able to drop in front of the center fielder Jackson. And again, that's when you know whether to try to make a spectacular play or not. 2 outs, you want to keep him at first base, and Jackson broke back just enough. The ball dropped in front of him.
So Willingham hits here in the 6th. A foul out and a strikeout for Willingham.
The A's might try to send Connor Jackson, not really that you think is going to be a stolen base threat. Maybe try to find a way to get him in the scoring position. Of course, Josh Willingham can do that by hitting one over the fence.
Jackson has a nice lead at first, not going, and a changeup, and it's been a pretty good pitch for Koch tonight. You see the miles per hour, 77. And the fastball, he's been up there around 90.
Well, for a 3-pitch pitcher, he has utilized all 3 of them very effectively tonight.
Huge lead for Connor Jackson, but it's one of those one-way leads, I believe, as he was creeping back toward first. But well, you mentioned it, 3 pitches. I think Koch is a pretty good reliever, but Tiger said he's got 3 good pitches. Big, strong guy. Let's make him a starter. And I think Koch, from what I read, was all in on it. He thought that that was a pretty good idea. Tyson Ross still throwing down in the A's bullpen, so he is come in next inning. Fastball high.
Well, you have to figure all these pitches, and ultimately, if he's going to try to get it out, it's got to be with a changeup. 2 very good ones to Willingham. That last one, a waste fastball up in the zone. See if he comes back with a changeup.
He did, and it drops low. Pretty good take by Willingham.
Well, that's hitter's pretty smart in that regard also. Josh Willingham knows he's thrown a very good changeup, but don't think that he might not do it again. Has excellent arm speed, at least points the same as his fastball. He'd be a very disciplined hitter to be able to take a good changeup, especially in a 2-2 and 3-2 count.
Jackson goes, pitches hit to center. Jackson back a couple steps, and that will do it. So a 2-out hit by Connor Jackson, nothing else. So Phil Koch has shut out the A's through 6 innings. No score after 6.
disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
0-0, top of the 7th inning. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts, as Tyson Ross is going to take over here in the 7th. So Gio Gonzalez pitched very well, but 6 walks probably cost him another inning, right, Ray?
6s were wild for Gio.
Yeah.
6 walks, 6 strikeouts, 6 innings. And number 66 comes in to pitch. Off of 66th Avenue.
There you go.
And he's 6'6". And he doesn't weigh 666 pounds. He pitched very well against the White Sox, did Tyson Ross, his first appearance at the Coliseum this year as he joined the club in Toronto. Michael Wirtz on the disabled list, and good news for the A's and Michael Wirtz is he's throwing and feeling much better.
Santiago right up the middle, and that's a base hit. Well, baseball, and the Tigers lost a great baseball man this past offseason on November 4th. Sparky Anderson passed away at the age of 74. But he was fun to watch manage.
Yeah, he was.
Sparky, of course, won with the Reds, won it all with the Tigers. I still, you think about Sparky Anderson in certainly maybe not in Detroit, but on a national level. You think more maybe with the Cincinnati Reds, but he was actually with the Reds for only 9 seasons. He was with the Tigers for 17 as a manager. So nearly twice as long in Detroit. The patch being worn in honor of Sparky Anderson. George Sparky Anderson. Bunted out front. And Kurt Suzuki double clutch, and they just get Austin Jackson. So Jackson with the sacrifice.
Now Kurt was wondering who's going to be covering, because normally it's the first baseman breaking in to field the bunt. Second baseman is there, but Derek Barton got back, and maybe the confusion was there. Barton, he got all the way back. Mark Ellis was coming over, and that's why Kurt Suzuki had to double clutch and barely got him. If they did, just barely got him.
So Santiago, speedy runner, in scoring position for Casper Wells. Just a bit off the plate from Tyson Ross.
And Santiago hit a base hit. I looked at the board, it said 88, so it'd be kind of a changeup that Tyson Ross is trying to throw. But he has an excellent fastball and slider we saw in Chicago, and ball just jumps out of his hand with a fastball. Like that. And that's just such a nice, easy delivery, and all of a sudden the gun lights up. Slight movement inside corner. He's yet to throw a slider.
Well, the slider was nasty the other night in Chicago. Good fastball there, outside corner to Wells.
Just see how easy, and this is what the scouts are saying. There's this easy delivery, very tall, and then bam, here it comes. So 3 fastballs to Wells, a ball, and then 2 very good strikes, 1 swinging, 1 taking. Will he throw him the hard slider?
Well, Rayburn on deck, and after Rayburn it would be Cabrera. There's 1 out. The Tigers have stranded 8 through 6 innings. They've stranded at least 1 in every inning except the 3rd. 2-2 to Casper Wells, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Shallow right field. Connor Jackson under it. He's got it. Santiago will stay at second, and that's out number 2.
And there was a slider. And after the one either slider or changeup was 85, whatever the pitch was in the dirt, Kurt Suzuki went out to talk to him. They came back with a much better slider. And here it is, the good one. Well, it's had to be thinking about a fastball and made decent contact, but the ball didn't travel very far. He's telling his teammates that's a slider. Also movement on his fastball.
Just a couple of hits allowed by Gio Gonzalez. 6 walks, 6 strikeouts, so 1 earned run in 19 innings for Gonzalez this year. Suzuki spins around after making a nice play behind home plate. But Gio will not get to 3-0 tonight.
Since this is Sharks playoff time, it's like a goalie save.
Indeed.
It's very good at it.
1-0 to Ryan Rayburn. Swing and a miss. Easy 93. Rayburn 0 for 3, a fly ball, a ground out, and a strikeout. Drive to right center, that's hit well. Jackson racing back, and it is off the wall. Run's going to score. Rayburn to second, and the Tigers have taken a 1-0 lead. Ray, you said it a couple innings ago. Ryan Rayburn always seems to hurt the A's.
Well, usually against lefties, but he stays in against Tyson Ross. But a fastball, and that was right in the middle of the plate, and the opposite field. And just no chance. The ball up on the wall, no chance to get to it. So no wonder Jim Leland has him in the lineup.
A's will intentionally walk Miguel Cabrera and face Victor Martinez. So Rayburn gets his 5th double and his 5th RBI, and it's a big one.
Well, this is something that is being done already in this young season, and that is pitching carefully or intentionally walking, as is the case now. Miguel Cabrera and facing Victor Martinez. Bob Garrett ordering the intentional walk. I mentioned Ron Washington did. I think it was game 2. Nice, the first game against the Tigers. The tying run. Here was the tying run at the plate. Ron Washington walked him intentionally. 2 outs in the 9th inning, and brought up Victor Martinez, who grounded out.
I think he should get used to it, because I think it's going to start to happen a lot. He's that good.
I think Jim Leland brought up a very good point, and when we were talking about protection and how the case of Albert Pujols getting Matt Holliday protect him, and I think Jim said it best. There's no such thing. The only protection is the hitter himself. In this case, Cabrera or Pujols, because you're either going to be pitched to or, in this case, intentionally walked. But I don't know that there's a lot of protection you can offer anybody. I mean, because Victor Martinez could get 10 hits in a row after intentional walk, and still intentionally walking.
Here is Martinez. Change up from Ross in first strike. Rayburn at second, Cabrera at first. The Tigers have scored first here in the 7th inning with the Rayburn double. Martinez has grounded out 3 times, once to second, twice to short. That, of course, was batting right-handed. The deal to bring Martinez to the Tigers, 4 years, $50 million. Tigers lost Johnny Damon. Gerald Laird did a fair amount of their catching last year. Martinez still just 32 years old, so he's got some years left, especially if he does a fair amount of DHing.
Well, he's always been a great hitter. Cleveland had him for many years. Traded him to Boston.
Well, he can hit.
And he is catching primarily when a left-hander starts against the Tigers. Alex Avila is the other catcher, actually the only catcher listed on the roster, as Victor Martinez listed as the DH. Tyson Ross, great job in Chicago of just one elevated fastball to Rayburn. After the leadoff single and a bunt, Santiago getting to second base.
High down the right field line. Jackson looks up and it is foul, not by a lot.
I think Tyson might have to find a way to waste the changeup. It's a good pitch, especially when you have a good fastball and slider, as we've seen tonight from Phil Koch. But this was almost a 3-run home run. Changeup at 84 miles an hour. It's kind of sped up the bat of Victor Martinez.
Ron Romanek trots back to the dugout. So Martinez steps back into the batter's box. Two and two the count. Johnny Peralta is in the on-deck circle. The inning started with a Ramon Santiago base hit, then Jackson a sacrifice. Casper Wells fly out to right field, then Rayburn the RBI double, Cabrera the walk. Bounce to the right side where Ellis has it. Martinez is retired, but Ryan Rayburn an RBI double. 7th inning stretch. The Tigers won, the A's nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the 7th inning stretch.
Thanks to the Ryan Rayburn double. Well, Koch has been very good. 79 pitches through 6 innings. He'll face Matsui, Ellis, and Suzuki. So the A's, 3 more shots.
Well, maybe it's taken 6 innings for the A's to realize they're not on the road anymore. They're back home and have 3 more chances to try to get back in the game. Not really scored a lot of runs in this early season in the 12 games. 7 when Gio pitched the Sunday against Seattle. Good one there. A couple of 5-run games, but by and large, not the offense the A's would like to be seeing right now, especially with good pitching.
First pitch to Hideki Matsui. Slider down and away. There is action in the Tigers bullpen. In the first try. Matsui has grounded out twice to the second baseman Santiago. Ray mentioned that Yankees score. The Yankees 6, the Orioles 5 in 10 innings. The Orioles led that game 5-0 after 4.5. Posada tied it, and then Swisher, a sacrifice fly in the 10th, was the winner. Posada's home run was in the 9th inning as Matsui flies out.
Come out this Saturday for the A's home cap presented by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Perfect for sunny day games at the Coliseum. This cap looks great on any A's fan. So remember, Saturday, April 16th, 6:05 against these Detroit Tigers. 10,000 fans will receive an A's home cap. For tickets, call 877-493-BALL or go to oaklandathletics.com/tickets.
First pitch to Mark Ellis is a strike. Ellis, a fly ball to center field, a pop out to second. There's 3 hits for the A's in the ballgame. The Rays beat the Twins tonight 4-3 in 10 innings. Very difficult loss for the Twins, who continue to struggle. Twins had a 2-0 lead going to the bottom of the 9th inning. Joe Nathan gave up a 2-run double to Matt Joyce to tie it, and then Twins took a 3-2 lead in the top of the 10th, and Johnny Damon a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 10th. So the Rays get their first home win of the year, and they defeat the Twins 4-3. So Minnesota 4-8.
Who gave up the home run to Damon?
I don't know.
It wasn't Nathan probably going out.
No, it was Matt Capps.
Yeah, I was going to say he wouldn't have pitched 2 innings, but yeah, it's too bad. Joe Nathan, of course, pitched well against the A's in the one when they had against the A's in Minneapolis.
Ellis, pop up, shallow right field. Wells racing in, and he's going to get there, and he makes the catch. The Royals beat the Mariners 5-1. It was called after 8 innings due to rain.
Now batting, the catcher,
Cliff Lee over in the National League, a complete game 3-hit shutout tonight with 12 strikeouts over the Nationals. So Cliff Lee gets his second win. Hottest team in baseball right now is the Colorado Rockies. They swept a doubleheader from the Mets today. They swept the 4-game series, and they have won 6 in a row, and they're 10-2, the Rockies.
And somebody said Troy Tulowitzki usually gets off to a slow start and he has 7 home runs. Or did he hit some today?
No, well, yeah, he hit some today, all right. In the 4-game series against the Mets, Tulowitzki went 10 for 16 with 4 homers and 8 RBIs. So I think he hit a home run in each game.
And that's a slow start for you.
Well, if he ever is able to play 150, 160 games, he could easily win an MVP. He's terrific.
How about what he did in August and September last year? Just September.
So the Rockies sweep the Mets in New York. Could be a long year for the Mets.
Well, that means the Mets and the Yankees are home at the same time.
That doesn't happen a lot. A's will play the Mets at Citi Field this year. So we'll get our first look at that fairly new ballpark.
Unfortunately, you get to see the new park in Philadelphia, too.
Yeah, that's our road trip before interlude. New York for 3, Philadelphia for 3.
Gordon Lakey, longtime scout, good friend of ours from Philadelphia Phillies, said that their ticket manager told him that they have already sold about 3.4 million tickets for this year.
In Philadelphia.
They have sold out. You know, we talked about the Red Sox, and I can't remember how many consecutive sellouts they've had. But I'd say that would make an organization happy, knowing that after about 2 weeks of the season, we've already got 3.4 sold.
Yep. Three and 2 to Kurt Suzuki. Bouncer, Inge, a backhand, in between hop, dug out by Cabrera. Nice play on both ends. 3 up, 3 down, and we are headed to the 8th inning at the Coliseum. Tigers 1, A's nothing.
Ashby Lumber and All Weather Wood want to treat you to a ball game. They're giving away
California's authentic Fan Fridays at the Coliseum. $12 get you a ticket in our value deck behind home plate, an authentic A's fan t-shirt, a cheer card, a $6 food and drink voucher. The first authentic Fan Friday is tomorrow versus the Tigers. Log on to csncalifornia.com to get your tickets. Tomorrow night, just above us, in the value deck. The camera crew sporting the shirts. We appreciate that. Johnny Peralta, Brennan Bosch, Brandon Inge. Tigers got a Ryan Rayburn 2-out RBI double for the only run in the game. That was last inning. 3-0 now to Peralta. First strike. There's just one other game going on. It's the Cardinals and the Dodgers down in LA. St. Louis with a 6-3 lead in the 7th inning. Strike called on the inside corner, so it's a full count.
A lot of people panicking about Albert Pujols hitting about $1.50. $1.50. Oh, yeah. The most important guy is not worried. Albert Pujols.
Nope.
Not surprised.
Can you imagine Albert Pujols playing anywhere else but St. Louis?
No.
No, I can't either.
He'll be back. Still think the only place, of course, Carlos Pena signed a 1-year contract with the Cubs. Other than that, Adrian Gonzalez in Boston, Mark Teixeira in New York. You have to look at clubs that could afford to pay. There's not a lot that could do that. Well, Brandon Inge, you can talk about a walk-off home run yesterday, but how about this play? A changeup, Kurt Suzuki, and started to charge, then a backhand and a low throw, but Miguel Cabrera handled it. And Brandon Inge has one of the strongest arms in the game, especially at third. This one happened to be a sinker, but handled nicely by Cabrera.
Outside to Brendan Bosch. So Tyson Ross having trouble with the strike zone. That walk of Peralta, the 7th the A's pitchers have issued tonight. None of them have scored. Jerry Blevins just about ready to go down in the A's bullpen. Bosch is the only true left-handed hitter the Tigers have in their lineup. Santiago switch hitter. Victor Martinez a switch hitter. 3-0.
Tyson Ross, very economical. His pitches on Monday as he pitched 3 solid innings. Early for Dallas Braden, and the A's won the game. And he was actually going to go out for the 10th. But tonight, had a little trouble throwing strikes. And it's like Bob Guerin is going to go to his bullpen.
So 3 walks by Ross after 6 walks by Gio Gonzalez. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. In the box right now, get the All-American Jack combo with fries and a drink for only $4.99 plus tax. So trouble for the A's here in the top of the 8th. Peralta a walk, Bosch a walk, 2 on, nobody out for Brandon Inge. So Tyson Ross, a very good outing in Chicago, but not so good here tonight. Jerry Blevins, see what Inge does. Squares to bunt, jabs at it. Suzuki almost made a terrific play.
Such a hard play for a catcher because kind of back, you know the bunt is happening, but you expect it to be out in front. This one just to the left and popped up, had the spin, and Kurt Suzuki one step forward and then jumped out and almost made a spectacular play. His athletic ability to do some of the things is unbelievable. Up off the edge of his catcher's mitt.
Hinge started to square. Hinge is 0 for 2 with a walk. Corner infielders coming in, and the pitch is high.
Former manager of the White Sox, Gene Lamont, is now coach and been with Jim Leyland a lot of years, Pittsburgh, and now with the Tigers.
2-1. A's have walked at least one hitter in every inning except the third. And now it's 3-1.
And Inge was swinging. If he'd gotten a good pitch to hit, taking a bunt off, and I would think this is the same situation now. So Blevins has to throw a strike, or he gets to join the party with the base on balls. It's like Phil Koch is finished. Is the bullpen heating up?
May have helped out. Jerry Blevins' pitch was down close. Inge fouled it back, so it's now a full count. It's like Joaquin Benoit, big free agent signing for the Tigers. 3-2. And it's in the dirt, and he walked it. The bases are loaded.
With 3 walks.
And now 10 walks in the game.
Number 39, Ramon Santiago.
Would that be playing with fire, Ray? Just a little bit.
Probably a lot, not just a little.
So the infield comes in, nobody out. Ramon Santiago, who's had a good night. 2 for 3. Couple of singles. He scored the only run of the game. He is a switch hitter. The fastball just a bit inside. Close pitch from Blevins.
Sure, we're going to hear from somebody over in the press box. Make an announcement soon. The 10 walks. Let's hope it's only 10, but 2-0, and that's not good.
Ron Romanic's going to come on out. Well, when you've walked 10, Ray, you're not going to get any help from the umpire either. Gene Lamont, third base coach, met halfway with Santiago. They had a quick conversation. Maybe he said, "You're taking one."
Yeah, let's take a strike. I mean, Blevins walked Brandon Inge whenever he was just trying to bunt to sacrifice a couple of guys.
Up and away, and it's 3-0. Top of the order, and Austin Jackson will hit next. 3-0 pitch is in for a strike, right down around the knee. So a mock cheer comes up from the crowd.
Jared Blevins can get him to hit the ball on the ground at one of the A's infielders. It could be maybe a double play. Nope.
Drive to left center. Willingham's over there. He's able to make the catch. Peralta tags up, and the throw goes all the way through. Nobody's there, and it rolls into the dugout.
Wow. And another run's going to score, and
so everybody just keeps moving up. I'm not sure how that happened.
Well, somebody should have been at third because it was going to be a sac fly. The runner at Peralta was not going to be thrown out the plate. There was not going to be a throw
14,
to the plate.
Jackson.
And so when Willingham caught it and spun and threw, he was going to throw directly to third. And actually, looked like Andy LaRoche was set up to be a cutoff man for the throw to the plate.
And Jerry Blevins is backing up home.
Yeah. But you got to know that that's going to be tough to throw out anybody from there.
So 2-run score on that play.
There's a sacrifice fly for Santiago and an RBI, but E7 for the other to score.
So the replay showed pretty well exactly what happened. Andy LaRoche went to be the cutoff man, vacating third. Willingham figured, I don't have a play at home, I'm going to throw it to third. Nobody's at third. Jerry Blevins backing up home. Nobody backing up third.
And maybe when Willingham did the 360 after making the play, he lost sight of where the infielders were.
Oh, that's true.
And just went with the play to third base.
So either way, 2-run score on the play. And there's a runner at third and still just 1 out. Inge is the runner at third. 1-2 to Austin Jackson. And he swings and misses, so Blevins gets the big strikeout there. Jackson strikes out for the 2nd time.
Well, this time able to throw not only a strike but a quality strike outside corner.
Casper Wells.
So 2 outs for Casper Wells. Wells is singled and he has walked. He's 1 for 3. His single was a bunt single way back in the 1st inning. Inside 2-0. Wells had a pretty good fastball to hit there, and he fouled it back.
Tigers trying to score a couple of runs without even getting a hit or barely getting a ball in the infield. Or barely making contact, period. 3 walks, sac fly, strikeout.
Breaking ball is low. So 3-1. Up and away, and it's another walk. And Bob Guerin's coming out. 4 walks this inning, 11 walks in the game. So Bobby Kramer's coming in, and Jerry Blevins' night is done. A's continue this 4-game set against the Tigers. So the two pitchers, Brandon McCarthy, Rick Porcello. Coverage begins at 6:30 with A's pregame live. Complete A's coverage every night on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. The home of the A's is Comcast Sportsnet California. Brandon McCarthy has pitched very well for the A's in his first 2 starts. Rick Porcello has not pitched well for the Tigers. Young man burst on the scene a couple years ago, but struggled last year and has struggled early this year. Bobby Kramer steps in, 1st and 3rd, 2 outs, and Ryan Rayburn the hitter. A couple of runs in for the Tigers here in the top of the 8th. Upstairs. Rayburn 1 for 4, the RBI double in the 7th. Coco Chris to his right, settles underneath it. He's got it side, retired. So through all that, the Tigers get 2. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Detroit 3 and the A's nothing. Gio Gonzalez, Phil Koch, both good tonight. Phil Koch just a little bit better, and this was the first run in the game. Top of the 7th inning, Ryan Rayburn, a 2-out RBI double, scores Ramon Santiago. And then got a little ugly for the A's in the top of the 8th. The sacrifice fly scored 1, and then the errant throw would score another run. So the Tigers tack on a pair in the top of the 8th. So that is what we got heading to the bottom of the 8th. 3-4-0 for the Tigers, 0-3-1 for the Athletics. 11 walks. Most since 2005 in a 9-inning game by the A's pitching.
Hey, yeah, well,
it's been a while.
It's waiting.
Yeah. David DeJesus pinch hitting. He's hitting for Andy LaRoche, and he's facing the new pitcher Joaquin Benoit.
You really have to take your time with Benoit because he pitches out of the stretch and he takes a long time to deliver the ball. Remember that? Remember he's with Texas? He just
he's like Betancourt when Betancourt was with the Indians. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. So Joaquin Benoit had a terrific season with the Tampa Bay Rays last year. After some decent years in Texas, nothing spectacular, but last year 1-2 with a 1.34 ERA in 63 games, and that got him a 3-year, $16.5 million contract from the Tigers. So Benoit happily accepted that, and he's in Detroit as their setup man. It's good to be a setup man this offseason. Teams were dishing out cash for the 8th inning guy. Benoit, 33 years old, from the Dominican Republic.
Well, if he was in Tampa, he was with a guy named Soriano, who also went to New York for about 36.
Graham Balfour.
Yeah, to be a setup for Rivera in New York. Balfour, of course, here.
He struck out 75 in 60 1/3 innings. Gave up just 30 hits, so he had a terrific year for the Rays. Two to DeJesus, and now full count. Andy LaRoche was 0 for 2 when he was in the game. DeJesus hitting for LaRoche. Still just a 3-0 game. Feels like it's about 6-0. Remember, the A's were down by 3 runs yesterday in the 9th inning and came back to win.
Well, at least John Leyland has a closer that he is named closer. Odds again talking about he doesn't have one. And walked off the podium in the interview.
Another foul ball by DeJesus.
But 3-run lead, Benoit can just throw fastballs. He doesn't have to worry about trying to fool anybody. He does not want to walk the leadoff batter with a 3-run lead.
DeJesus putting on a good battle here with Benoit. To left field. Rayburn was playing shallow. He gets back now, turns around, makes the catch, and that's out number 1. So DeJesus, as a pinch hitter, flies out, and that'll bring up Cliff Pennington. That is the Tigers' closer, Jose Valverde.
Cliff Pennington.
He came prepared, dressed in layers.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll take him half inning to get everything off before he can start to warm up. No, he's ready. And then no sleeves.
Tigers got a Valverde, a Villarreal, and an Albuquerque in their bullpen. Fastball first strike from Benoit. Valverde with a little style. Tiger fans behind him, they think Valverde's just about the coolest guy. He's so cool.
Yeah, I'm going to get a pair of those glasses.
Yeah.
I think I need glasses.
That's our closer. 0-2 to Pennington. Fastball runs up and away. Pennington has lined out twice, once to third and once to first. There's the high fastball. This time Pennington goes after it. He missed it. And that is out number 2.
Now batting center fielder, number 4.
Just a high fastball running away from Cliff Pennington. Just trying to punch it to left field. Did not do it.
15 of the last 16 A's have been retired. The only break in that sequence was Connor Jackson's 2-out single in the 6th inning. There's a strike as Coco went around to bunt. Crisp, a strikeout in the 1st, a ground out in the 3rd, a pop out in the 6th. Coco, after a hot start, struggling some. 4 for his last 26.
It's just hard to believe, just chuckling, because seeing Coco when he signed with the A's last year, came over to the A's. We've never seen this look.
No.
Took all last year. First couple of weeks of this season. I saw him in the clubhouse today. I couldn't believe that. But it just. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow. That's a lot of hair.
That is. Broken bat, grounder toward Inge, and that will do it. So Joaquin Benoit has a 3-up, 3-down bottom of the 8th. 9th inning coming up. 3-0 Tigers. That is the only change for the Athletics, is Bobby Kramer back out there.
Number 24, Miguel Cabrera.
And Miguel Cabrera will lead it off. He'll be followed by Victor Martinez and Johnny Peralta. So Gio Gonzalez won 6 innings. Tyson Ross 1 inning plus. Blevins 2/3. And now Kramer after getting the final out in the 8th. Jose Valverde is just starting to throw for the Tigers out in their bullpen. Hit hard on the ground. Pennington, who's shaded toward the hole, ranging to his left, and that's out number 1.
Time now for the forward right choice. We'll give it to the A's starting pitcher tonight. Gio Gonzalez did not pick up the win, but what a good fastball. He would strike out 6 with a great fastball. He threw some very good curveballs and some changeups as well, but Gio Gonzalez, great curveball there, got Miguel Cabrera with one of the curveballs. Unfortunately, he had 6 walks, but not one scored. But maybe he had to leave the game a little bit early because of the 6 strikeouts, 6 walks, 103 pitches in 6. Same in his last start in Minneapolis, 6 innings, 106 pitches. So once the control picks up a little bit, we could be seeing him go 8, maybe even 9 innings without any problem.
Tough night for Victor Martinez, 0 for 4 with 4 groundouts. The A's bullpen in that 3-game series in Chicago. Now each game went 10 innings. More action for Pennington. The A's bullpen in the 3 games, a total of 13 1/3 innings pitched, which is quite a bit. 3 more innings tonight.
Now batting, number 27, Johnny.
Well, so far,
Peralta.
and let's hope the A's can come back in the bottom of the 9th inning. But after a very good road trip, and especially to come back yesterday, scoring 6 runs in the last 2 innings, one of them the extra inning. Too many walks tonight.
Coco Crisp is going to have enough room. He's got it. So Bobby Kramer, a 3-up, 3-down inning. Bottom of the 9th. A's with a little bit of work to do. They trail 3-0. Valverde coming in.
California is brought to you by Xfinity, TV, phone, and internet. Reinvented. And by Chevrolet. Go to ChevyBaseball.com to support youth baseball and help make a moment kids will never forget.
Tigers 3, the A's nothing. Bottom of the 9th inning, and it's the Tigers closer, Jose Valverde. So Valverde with a couple of saves this year. 33-year-old from the Dominican Republic. He's got his own little deal going when he comes in the game. Watch this right here, right? Yeah. Shut her down.
He must have had a whole bottle of water in his mouth when he spewed it out. Looked like Max Paxton.
That's right.
The clown prince of baseball. Max can put a whole bunch of water in it. He looked like a geyser. Just
sure.
You ever see him?
I have. I saw him in person. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smart experts. So Jose Valverde comes in, and he will face Barton, Jackson, and Willingham.
You know why he does all that stuff? Because he's good.
I was just going to say, because he's good. He was an all-star last year, was Jose Valverde. 2nd year with the Tigers. A's need base runners. Missed by much, 2-0. Valverde has 195 career saves, 26 of them coming last year with the Tigers. Also an all-star in 2007. Foul ball.
Trying to get out of the way. The ball hit his bat, went straight down. Might have hit him in the knee or some. Oh, wow. Hit him in the back leg. That's hard to do. Because when you're trying to get out of the way, that is a fork ball. I mean, they talk about split finger grip. That's more of a fork ball. Bearing in the back, bottom of the index and middle finger.
Right there, 92 miles an hour, 2-2 to Barton. A couple of walks and a fly ball to left field for Barton in the game. Setting up inside, and that's there. Strike 3 called.
Wow, how about that little finish? Or did he hurt himself?
Tough to follow along with Jose Valverde.
Here's the pitch and the strikeout. Watch his follow through.
Now batting right fielder, number 28, Connor Jackson.
See, I thought he pulled something right there.
I did too.
Can't wait to see what he does if he strikes out a guy to end the game. That was just 1 out.
Well, I think when he followed through, maybe something grabbed him.
We hope. Strike to Connor Jackson. A couple of hits tonight for Connor Jackson. The A's only have 3. The Tigers only have 4. Hits hard to come by tonight. Jackson singled in the first, singled in the 6th.
There's only 2 walks in their walk column, both to Barton by Phil Koch, who pitched very well.
And that got the catcher Victor Martinez, and he is hurt.
Well, there's not much anybody can do about where he got hurt or hit either. There is nothing you can do. You ever doing a catching?
No, I didn't.
That's why Victor is happy to be a DH.
Yeah, I just saw the reason why I never did any catching.
Well, you can hear it. I mean, that's the bad part, because that's the sound of straight on.
Victor is, he's trying to walk it off. Laz Diaz, as all umpires do, they will give him any time he needs. The count is 0-2. So Valverde, the 0-2 pitch is outside. So far, it's been just the way Jim Leland would want. His starter, Phil Koch, goes 7. His free agent signing, Joaquin Benoit, the setup man, pitches the 8th, and he can give the ball to his closer, Valverde, here in the 9th. Strike 3 called.
He didn't pull anything.
Nope.
He didn't pull anything. That's his routine.
Now batting.
So 2 outs and pretty good pitch by Valverde.
Fastball, and So I wonder if the guy hits a home run if he does the same thing.
Oh, man. Here's Josh Willingham. Inside to Willingham, who is 0 for 3.
What if this is a current version of the late Lima time?
Could be. There's a little something in there, yeah.
Or did he pass away too soon? Wow. Jose Lima.
Hard hit ball. Inge, what a play. Gets up, and that's the way the ball game ends. Terrific play by Brandon Inge. And it is a Detroit Tigers shutout tonight in game 1 of this series. Not a bad way to end it if you're the Tigers.
Well, hard hit ball. Brandon Inge, as Jim Price, broadcaster, former catcher, the Tigers said he could play any position and be the best. And here's Valverde's.
He gets the save, and the Tigers get the win. 3-0 is your final, so the Tigers have won 3 in a row. The A's drop back to a game under 500. They are 6th. A's post-game live with Jim Cote.